Right, I think I may need to actually update this version number. I'm just looking at the stream. Hello, Kebab Kid. First one in the chat again. Um, yeah, I've seen you've been really busy creating lots of scenarios. Uh, Maybe if there's time tonight, we can try one of them as well. I'll download it quickly and we can give one a go. Hello, Starch Vulgasaur. Is that a Pokemon? Reminds me of Bulbasaur. Anyway, yeah, it's just about scenarios. Mario from Discord, Kebab Kid in the chat, has been adding a lot of scenarios. So I'd like to try one of them out on the stream at some point tonight. I wanted to show just a couple of new things off. First is I've added Mega-Wedges to the game. These. Oh, so I'm just going to turn that background music down a bit. Yeah, they can go up to 3.7 miles. I can make it bigger than that, but I think it's starting to get a bit ludicrous at that point. Let me just do a preview here, just to show off the Mega-Wedges. And then I'll show just a quick preview of the Bridge Creek Moor scenario. Because what I did was cross-reference it with some footage and fix some of the timestamps in it. So I'll just show the quick trail of it. Add satellites to the game. Yeah, there's already sub-vortices, so a satellite tornado isn't too much different from that. So yeah, I need to add that to the to-do list. What I need to do, actually, let me open up the Trello. If this is off-screen, I've got two monitors. I need to start, when people suggest things in the chat, I need to add it to my to-do list. So, satellite tornadoes. I'll add that. You'll see these getting added to the official Trello. So, in doing the Mega-Wedge feature, I started to notice some other bugs with the tornadoes. So somebody made a comment that they look like they're rotating at Mach 1. I did the maths for it, and we're actually rotating at Mach 3 in some cases, which is like, what, 2,100 miles per hour. So now what I'm doing is, yeah, it was because I'm using the real wind speed to determine how fast it should rotate. So if you keep the wind speed constant and the tornado widens, the visual rotation rate will slow down. But in some cases, the rotation was a bit too slow. So I added a minimum number of RPMs that it could rotate at, which was fine for smaller tornadoes. But then as you get bigger, 15 RPM does end up being like Mach 3 at a mile wide. So I had to get that fixed. So you can see the rotation rate's a lot more reasonable now. Before it was like you see streaks flying around the funnel just at like a ridiculous rate. So I think visually it's improved how the tornadoes look visually as well, and the rotation rate's a lot more realistic now. I'm glad you enjoyed building them. Like that's all part of the scenario edit is people add fun scenarios, historical ones, unique ones, recreate ones from movies. I guess with the Mega-Wedge one we can recreate Into the Storm as well. So I'm just going to show this off quickly just for a few minutes. Then I'll show the Bridge Creek Moor preview. And then what should we do? Hop into career mode for a little bit, and then from there we can try one of Mario's scenarios. Is there a way to add a poll in the chat? Engage with the audience. Oh, cool. Start a poll. Right. Which of my scenarios should we try? Yeah, ChatGPT is good for that. What I tend to use like AI for when I'm doing coding is to get started on something new that I'm unfamiliar with, to like tell me the areas of the code where I may need to understand a bit better and point me in the right direction. And then once I've got the idea, then I can take over myself. Sorry, the stream hasn't frozen. I'm adding a poll. So let's just have a look at the modding channel. That's where they all are. Let me put this up here so people can see what I'm talking about. So let's go. So we've got El Reno 2013, El Reno 2011. So I'm just having a look here. Does it have the file name in here? We've got Joplin 2011. El Reno 2011. I've already added that. We've got Andover and Manchester. Oh, does it limit me to 4 options? Okay, we'll keep it as those 4 for now. Yep. So I'll put the poll in the chat, so you should be able to vote now. I've never done this before. So yeah, feel free to vote. You've got until, I guess we've done a bit of career mode, and then let me show this off. Yeah, so this will get wider and wider. Let's show what it is right now. So it's 1.4 miles right now. And that's 1.4 miles at the base. So it's going to look like it's barely rotating, but that's because if you have something that's 4 miles wide, even at 300 miles an hour, the circumference is going to be what? So 4 miles wide, multiplied by pi, we'll estimate that as a bit over 3. So about 12 miles it's got to move. So even at 300 miles an hour, it's still going to take some time to do just one rotation. I'm just going to hide the hood because we don't want to see all those injuries and deaths when it's just a scenario. Arena 2013 and 2011. I just thought actually we may not be able to. Actually, we can. Did you put for the El Reno 2013? Did you put the actual size in of like the 2.6 miles? Because if you did, that's a good way to test the Mega-Wedges because it will actually go to 2.6 miles wide. These are going to be like hurricanes at this point. Yeah, it is. Oh, sorry, Rainbow. I didn't realize. Sorry, I looked away from the screen when I looked back. I accidentally skipped over your comment. Did you not have the damage dividing angle? No, so I did. What I did was I added a minimum cap to the RPM. So I calculated the realistic wind, like rotation rate, and then also had a minimum of 15 RPM. I then used then what was it? I used the max of 15 RPM or the realistic wind speed, not realizing that 15 RPM is an absolutely insane rotation rate for tornadoes. So it was always capping at that 15 RPM, even when they were like a mile wide, which is why it ended up looking ridiculous. Yeah, I literally just removed it. I set the cap all the way down to 1 RPM, and then realized that's still like yeah, like 160, 180 miles per hour at 1 RPM. So I was like, oh, let's just not have a cap at all. What I did instead is I restricted the vertical velocity, because what doesn't look good, if it's rotating slowly, what we don't want is a load of upward motion. So it's kind of artificial, but this is where I've kind of chose visuals over realism. What I've done is said that it can't rotate let's phrase it the other way. It can't move vertically more than it rotates horizontally. It's like at the most you can have a 45-degree angle going upwards. I just think any more than that, it kind of looks like it's just moving straight up, which doesn't look quite right. So we've got some sub-vortices, probably the size of regular tornadoes in the game at this point. So what's the width at right now? So at 2.8 miles. So if you're skilled enough, you could probably drive through and dodge the sub-vortices. So these horizontal noodles are just like secondary wall clouds at this point. And one thing that the Mega-Wedges do is they absorb the... if the wall cloud expanded out as well, it just didn't look right. So to tell visually that it's a Mega-Wedge, it absorbs the wall cloud essentially. That's 6 miles. Maybe we'll just do El Reno 2013 then, but I'll check the poll wait time to do that. Why it looks ridiculously high swirl ratio all the time. Yeah, it would have been. I'd want that. Maybe I could cap the swirl ratio or something, because this is a, yeah, I don't know, I guess this is me kind of pushing my personal taste onto the game, but if it's almost straight vertical motion and very little horizontal motion, it just doesn't look right. Even if it's mathematically accurate, it just doesn't look right. It's one of those things where I've kind of got to override reality just to kind of make something that looks good in the game. I'm not going to be judging. I really appreciate taking the time to build these scenarios. I appreciate I haven't got an in-game scenario editor yet, and you haven't learned things like how to edit JSON files, how to get CSV files formatted correctly, how they interact with the game. So I appreciate it was a lot of work. So yeah, no, I'm not going to be criticising the scenarios at all. I think the whole point of them is to have fun and to see what it is you've built. This way, you're probably going to have swirl ratios of like over 5. Yeah, so the swirl ratio, sorry, I know I probably ask this every stream, so the swirl ratio of 5 means that I'll say circumferential, like the rotating winds should be 5 times faster than the winds flowing directly into it. I forget whether it's the ratio of radial wind to, is it axial wind? No, axial is the vertical wind, isn't it? Radial to circumferential or circumferential to radial. I keep forgetting the terms and then which way around it is, but it makes sense if a tornado is this strong that the swirl ratio is going to be high. Really high on large tornadoes. Yeah, if you could send me some real life videos for high swirl ratio tornadoes, then I can see what it looks like, because maybe I'm just not doing something quite right in the game to make it look realistic. Tangential, that's the one, because it's tangent to. So I remember tangential because it's tangent to the funnel, and then radial because I guess that's from radius. I guess pointing straight in towards the center. Radial is the same as axial. Yeah, because if the winds are flowing into the tornado, they have that density's got to go somewhere, so it's going to go straight up. So we're at the rope out phase now. So yeah, so this was 3.5 miles wide, then we'll see it rope out extremely quickly. One thing I want to check, so essentially what I have to do is the volume that I render inside of has 2 states. So it's got just like your regular tornado state, and then it's got Mega-Wedge state. Essentially what I'm doing in the Mega-Wedge state is you've got a lower resolution just so you can scale so big. But when it was shrinking back down, it was keeping that low resolution, and it didn't look great. So I think I fixed that last night. I just want to double check here now that I'm on the stream. So hopefully we don't see any visual popping or anything weird happening. So it's down to 2 miles now. What will I test for my scenarios? I think what I'll do is we'll just play them. I'll probably have to play them at about 2.5 times speed. I don't know what, but it depends how long the scenarios are. Okay, the wall clouds come back. The wall cloud looks correct. So I think we'll play them. I think I'll do them at 2.5 times speed, just because doing it in real time, I don't think I've got enough time to do that just now. It looks like the logic's working as intended, and then we'll should have the wall cloud dissipate next. Yep, and then the cell. Yeah, so that was the that's the Mega-Wedge for the experience in the game. So I'm just looking at the votes. We're currently at 83% El Reno 2013. Yeah, so we're probably going to be doing that one. Yeah, so let's go back to main menu, and I'll just show. Did a few changes on the Bridge Creek Moor tornado. Also, one thing I've done as well, I can't remember if I released this, is there's a preview mode where it'll shrink the map by just half. and then it'll speed everything up by a factor of 40. That's literally so you can just click play scenario, view the trail that it generates, and compare it against the actual event. It makes getting it more accurate a bit easier, so you don't have to go through the whole 80-minute scenario just to check that you've got the trail correct. So you'll see a touchdown. So what I did is I took a load of screenshots, cross-referenced it with timestamps, and then calculated the top to bottom ratio at each major point in the video footage. Yeah, so it's going off there. I do really want to add forest tiles. People keep suggesting it. I think that's going to be the next tile I add. So yeah, so I've tried to get this as accurate as I can. And we can see it here, because it did, so it initially spawned, so it was 2 miles south-southwest of Amber, so Amber would be about here. The first report you hear about it on the KFOR station is 2 miles east-southeast of Amber. It's right when it's getting F2 strength. Then you can see here, you can see it meandering with intermittent F4 and F5 damage. One thing that was interesting when I was trying to compare this, you could actually see the scar that I left for a few years after on the satellite imagery. It then goes stovepipe, so some of the famous footage of, like, you got the KFOR TV crew behind the Dow, and that's around this time here, I think, because it's when it narrows a lot and goes into more of a stovepipe, and then it wedges out again right as it gets into Bridge Creek. Yeah, so if you look at the trail there, so I won't do the full scenario. I won't play the scenario. I think we should do a bit of career mode today, and then we'll do the scenario after. Oh, I don't know. Or maybe just jump straight into the El Reno 2013 scenario. I think we'll just jump straight into the El Reno scenario, actually. Okay, so for comparison, there's the trail in the game. Let me just quickly open it. I do already have a comparison saved. Let me just find it. So this is something I put together in Photoshop yesterday. So you can see the outline of the game track here. These more solid colors here are the officially reported damage trails. So yeah, the radius is a little bit off, but the actual path and the intensity spikes and the spawn locations are exactly right. I even give updated timestamps when certain things happen, like when it crosses the river. So I fed everything I found to the AI, and it just got everything as accurate as it possibly could. So yeah, I could maybe do a little bit more tweaking of the winds, but that's going to take a long time. I think it's, for the sake of the game, I think it's accurate enough right now. If people want to make it even more accurate, feel free to. I think I've got something pretty close to the actual event here. So let's go to. Sorry, it'll go off screen for a second there. Let me download El Reno 2013. So I'll download that. Yeah, if it just lets me download it, is there a download link? There we go. No, I don't want a bulk download. So I'll download that. Okay, and then I also need to download the scenario JSON. Download. Right, now I need to go to where is Windows Explorer gone? Right, so I'm gonna get these. Gonna cut, and then we're gonna go to Tornado Research and Rescue, build, there, there. We're going to create a new one, new folder, and we're just going to call this El Reno 2013. Paste those in there, and hopefully it should just work. We may need to hit refresh. There we go. Top width exceeds the supported max. No, it doesn't anymore. Ah, I forgot to update. No, it shouldn't. Speed must be greater than 0. It looks like it's added. Let me do a quick rebuild. So this is how we fix things like this. We'll use AI. So let's just resume other conversation about the scenario. Can you update the max allowable width in scenarios? I have updated the renderer to support up to 6,400 meters top radius. Also, speeds of 0 are fine. Oops. Can you do control? Oh, I'm just letting you can do control enter. I just realized yesterday what I'd do when I wanted to show it in images, I'd paste it into Paint, save the image file, and then point it to the image file. I didn't realize if you press Alt and V instead of Control and V, it'll paste images into the console. My scenario's not working. So I've been changing some things in the scenario editor, so I think so if it worked on your version of the game, don't worry, I'm going to fix it again so it'll work in this update, which I want to push tonight. So don't worry, we'll get that fixed. I'm just waiting on the AI. Let's see, with my streaming, did it show that? Yeah, it shows the whole screen, so you can see it's rebuilding some stuff. So let's close the build version down, and we'll fix it really quickly. So we'll just have to wait for this to finish rewriting the code. No, 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 not radius. Sorry, I did mean diameter, not radius. That's a radius. That's me thinking out loud, not paying attention to what I'm writing. 6,400 meter diameter, not radius. Plan on support for more max width in Steam Workshop. Been a while to catch a streamer. If I give the tutorial on how to do this, it's awesome. You're the first to do it. Yeah, but, I'm glad you're enjoying them. Sorry, I didn't quite catch your question there. Plan and support for more max width. So yeah, that should be in this update tonight. In Steam Workshop, yeah, I do want to have these shareable on Steam Workshop soon enough. Scenarios new? Yes, they are. I just added them in the last update and added a few more features in this one, which let you essentially create Mega-Wedges. So that's any wedge that's wider than 2.4 kilometers. Just not an official definition, just how I've defined it in the game. Max was already correct in false, including width. Zero speed with distance-based legs at zero speed. Ah, okay. In that case, we just need an epsilon. Yeah, I guess we can't have a speed of 0 since you need a length for that leg. Actually, instead of allowing 0 in cases of 0, just use, I say 0.5 miles per hour. Yeah, you can't have 0 because um, Let's just proceed and then let it. Let's go with essentially an epsilon value. So when you want to avoid dividing by zero, you just have to use a very small value. Yeah, because I just thought if you have a speed of zero, it'll never reach the next segment of the scenario. So the best you can do is allow it to slow down just a ridiculous amount. I think half a mile an hour in the game is essentially zero anyway. Well, that's support for 2023. So I'm not going to change anything in the original 2023 version. But yeah, I do want to add mod support and hopefully backwards compatibility. That might be really difficult, but I definitely want to have mod support as a minimum, so people can add custom vehicles. And then additionally, if that goes well and it's not too difficult, to have backwards compatibility. Or at least maybe just a tool to convert the old vehicles to the new format. That might be better. Let's have this check over the scenario really quickly. Because what we do is we take the ground width and then divide by the bottom ratio to get the size at the top. And if that goes over 6,400 meters, it um, it will reject it. Oh, it just jumped all the way to the top there. Ground width, bottom ratio. Ah, yeah, we can't use bottom ratios that low. Um, so what is 2.6 miles in meters? 4,100. Yeah, so that's so the radius. So the size isn't the problem. It's because if you take 4,200 meters, which is the width at ground level, and divide it by 0.45, it means it would have to be 9,300 meters wide at the top to have that ratio. So what I'll do is I'll just ask, can you fix the bottom ratio so that the top width never exceeds the limit? So yes, we'll fix that up quickly and then we'll give it a go. Okay, so that's fixed. So we'll just do another build. So we've got to wait for it to compile in the editor. Then we'll create the build version and then we'll give it a go. No, it'll need editing. I can show you what it changed. Um, right. So lines 6, 7, 8, and 10. We've got the widths 3,200, 3,800, 4,200, and 3,500. So for each of those, you've got these bottom ratios. You need to change them so that at 3,200 meters, it's 0.5. At 3,800, it's 0.6. At 4,200, it's 0.66. 3,900, 0.61, and 3,500, 0.55. So then it stops it from exceeding the maximum allowable top width. So let's just copy that. I'll pop it in the chat here. I think I can format that a bit better. Oops, so I was trying to format it, but hopefully you can see what I mean. So in each of those lines, when you have those widths in the game, or in the CSV, you just need to use those bottom ratios just to not exceed the top radius. Right, is it finished building? Yeah, it's finished compiling, so now we need to build and run, and then we'll get into the game. What I'll do is I'll do a preview first as well, just to check that the trail and everything is on the map and things work as expected, then we can go. And I'll have to do a compressed version of it, so we'll play it probably at 2.5 times speed. It's not realistic. Yeah, unfortunately, for now, we're gonna have to change it like that for now, just for the limitations of what can be rendered in the game. I was sure that the width at the top was 9 kilometers as well, because I'm thinking maybe the visible funnel wouldn't have been 2.4 miles wide. Maybe 2.4 miles was the top of the funnel, and that's the wind field. Because one of the dangerous things about El Reno was that the visible funnel was a lot smaller than the wind field. So it may be that the bottom ratio was 0.48, but the actual visible radius of the tornado is smaller at that point. So yeah, I can't play for almost 2 hours. So let's bring the time compression down, and let's do a preview first. Just make sure that the scenario and the path work as expected, uh, and we'll play for. See, might be able to do the full thing. Is it? Oh, it looks like the timing is off a little bit. Uh, that's easy enough to fix. Where's the funnel? Well, we're spawned right next to it. So we definitely got the the widest part of it there. So let's see. I think the only thing which needs adjusting is the time, but we don't have to exit the game to fix that. Let me go to the scenario now. Let's just fix the time. What time? What time did El Reno 2013 touch down? 6:03 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Okay. So that'll be what? So it's just started 1800. We've still got the UTC offset of -5. Um, Touchdown delay minutes 3. Yeah, that should be all we need. Yeah, we're testing the mega tornadoes and mega wedges. I'm just adjusting the time, so let's just refresh so it reloads everything from the folder. Let's play this at 2.5 times speed. And let's see what it's like trying to chase a 2.5 mile wide tornado. So this should get us, yeah, during the daytime, so at least we can see the fun a little bit better. Okay, first thing we want to do is get some distance between ourselves and wherever the tornado forms, because it does intensify rapidly. So let's get our velocity radar on. Yeah, so we've got 2 minutes. Remember, it's sped up by a factor of 2.5, just so we're not having to play it for 2 hours. So yeah, let's see. Let's watch it come down. One of the things I want to add as well is those settings for how multi-vortex tornadoes are rendered. I want to add to the CSV as well, so you can control exactly how many subvortices, how visible they are, and so on. There you go, so there's the wall cloud. So I'm trying to figure out whether we are far enough away or not. Touchdown southwest of El Reno. So you've got a skinny little rope there, which is going to likely intensify very rapidly. Let's see which directions they're moving again. It's taking over southeast route, isn't it? I try and race it south, so we need to head west. We're going to try and beat it south. If there is, do you think we can deploy a probe in its path without getting killed ourselves? Because we want to not get caught up by the rapid expansion of the tornado. Yeah, I think we can beat it across this road here. Try updated version. Yeah, I'll have to, just for the sake of timing on the stream, I'll have to stick with this one that we've got here. Well, actually, I think we're going to get caught out by intensification. Sarah Johnson, how have you been, Sam? I've been good, thank you. Hope you've been doing well too. It's late spring, early summer, so my favourite time of year. Weather always makes everything a lot nicer to enjoy. Been at a farm today, so that's been nice. Right, rapid intensification begins, so that's where we definitely want to be ahead of it. So it's 0.6 miles wide, so I think we can set for our next intercept at this intersection here. Yeah, I think the funnel motion looks a lot better now that it's actually using the realistic wind speed. It uses the swirl ratio as well. I've just got that visual limitation, so I can't move vertically too much. Also, if everybody hasn't seen it yet, Fusion 2307, I believe is the username on YouTube. Just put out a video on the timeline of Twisted. I'm about 3/4 of the way through it now. It's like about an hour-long video about Twisted and each major milestone and some of the controversy about it. It's really interesting, so definitely check out the channel. I believe it's 2307. It might be 2309. Let me quickly check them. Getting the correct username here. Oops, meant to click that. Right, I think we're gonna have to get out of here quite quickly. Alright, let's just floor it. It is huge, so it's at 1.5 miles wide just now. You know, it is 2307. See, I shouldn't have doubted myself. Fusion 2307, check out their channel. Excellent stuff there to do with Twisted on Roblox. It's just tearing up everything behind us. Well, we're just staying outside of the F2 wind field there. Oh, we don't have anywhere to go. What's it like from the probe's point of view? It's been flung in the air. Look, we're actually looking down at the tornado funnel there. I need to keep my speed up still though. So, well, we're getting a lot of fatalities and injuries popping up. There's not a whole lot I can do in this particular scenario, just because we've got it at 2.5 times speed. Everything's compressed in terms of the time of all the events, so it's hard to get to places in time. But, we should be able to see our probe orbiting the tornado somewhere up there, around where the compass is. Our vegetation's disappeared already. Yeah, oh look, we can see the sub-vortices underneath. So that's not a rendering glitch. You can see we've got one of the sub-vortices over there on the right-hand side. Look, I think the probe's been flung out of the funnel. It's parallel to us right now. Let's see if we can see it land. We should see it drop out of the sky. Like it's somewhere over there. This just gives a good view. Look, we've got 2 sub-vortices there, and it is 2.4 miles wide just now. I think it's about to go to 2.6. Where's the probe? Is it still in the air? Yeah, it's still in the air. It gives an idea. This is just a game. Think as how intimidating this was in real life. It was much more dangerous as well because the actual visible funnel was probably something like that. Against it in southeast. Yeah, because it was that turn. It was the fact that it expanded rapidly, sped up, and turned all at the same time. Caught everybody off guard, even really experienced chasers. So a bit more about the Mega-Wedges. So in scenario and sandbox mode, each tornado has a 5% chance of becoming a Mega-Wedge, given it gets to a strong enough intensity. If it does, it then will reach a new max. So the default max is 2.4 kilometers. It'll choose a random max width. The higher that width, the less likely it is. So I think the highest possible width of like 6.4 kilometers is has like a 1% chance. So you got like a 1% chance of a 5% chance of seeing the widest possible tornado in the game. Like I think we're getting a horizontal vortex there on the left. Yeah, I think we'll head south, try and stay ahead of it. Try to get aside the tornado with a bit better lighting. It's on the dark side of the funnel, which gives you the most ominous view of the tunnel, but it's also the lowest contrast view. Should we see if we can dodge the sub-vortices and try and drive through it? We still have the tangential winds to worry about, though. Yeah, and that's one thing to bear in mind with these scenarios when we play through. You have to remember people did lose their lives in these scenarios, which is why I said I was trying to be respectful, not emphasise like the death and destruction that happened. Luckily, we didn't see too much in the way of destruction with it, but unfortunately, there were 8 people who lost their lives in El Reno. I say just everything about that day was an anomaly, and I think just about everything went wrong. So there was a tornado which did actually have a condensed funnel. I think it was 2.5 or 2.4 miles wide. Which one was it again? So luckily we're all right down here because it's in its rope out phase just now. The Mulhole tornado, that's the one I'm thinking of. Is it actually? They're saying 4.3 miles. No, it wasn't. Which one was it? Hallam, that was the one. 2004 Hallam tornado. I recognised the Mulhole tornado name, but that wasn't the one I was thinking of. Apparently 4.3 miles wide. But second after El Reno, you've got the 2004 Hallam tornado, which I think actually was fully condensed at its width. So that could be one more scenario to potentially add. See, we've got nicer lighting now. It's 0.7 of a mile wide. We've got the nice lit up side fading into the dark side of the funnel. I just think that contrast adds a lot to it. During the Xenia 1974, yeah, I guess that'd be a cool one to add. The problem with that, because with people who don't know, with Xenia, that was one of the few which Ted Fujita actually considered introducing an F6 rating for. But that was in the early days of the Fujita scale and didn't have all the data which they had later to further refine the scale. That is one of the ones which they did consider classing as an F6. The problem is you go further back, there's less data. You don't just have the nice like damage trails which you can just import into Google Maps to help you with. You're kind of going to have to read text descriptions, and it'll be more difficult, but I guess historically interesting once it's in the game. Look at that, that's it. Can we... I'm not sure if we can get another intercept in. Can always try though. I read by the same stat, it'd be 5 miles wide. I think you do the Twister movie tornadoes as a scenario. I would, but I have to be careful. I don't know exactly how copyright works in this situation, so yeah, I have like a truck from the movie, but I'm not claiming to be affiliated with the movie. I guess I I might have to give them names that people recognize from the movie, but not officially say like this is the Twister, this is the F1 from Twister. What I have to do is call them things like um, the ditch Twister, uh, which would be the F1. The sisters or the twins, the jumper, the nighttime tornado, the drive-in tornado, and then like the final boss or something like that. So people know what I'm talking about, but I'm not making claims like these are official scenarios affiliated with the movie. Whoops. Don't do that in real life. I had a bit of a scary moment driving today. So the car I've got, it's got what's called front assist. So it's essentially a radar in front of the car. Like it's got a radar built in. Not like a Doppler radar, I think, but just to detect obstacles. So we're driving in, we're getting 26 miles an hour, 27. So let's do a quick recall, get our probe. And it's there, so like if for whatever reason like the person in front of you stops really quickly or there's an obstacle on the road they haven't realised, it detects it and like beeps and then it'll automatically apply the brakes. So I was just driving along and then just suddenly there's clear road open in front of me, nothing there. Suddenly just beep and then it starts applying the brakes out of nowhere. And there's nothing you can do because it automatically applies the brakes. There's nothing you do to stop it. So that was, yeah. Got my attention and my heart racing. But yeah, thank you, Mario, for the scenario. I think if you want, I can take this and then start cross-referencing it with the official damage report and try and tweak it to get it closer to the actual event. But we've definitely sort of looked amazing at full width. We've managed to get a little bit of data, which unfortunately in career mode it would have been really nice to have, but we can't cache that in scenario mode. But yeah, you can see just how big and intimidating the tornado was in real life. Give you an idea, it looks visually intimidating in just a game, so being faced with that in real life. Oh yeah, it was fully condensed, yeah, Rainbow was saying that. Yeah, because who was it who was escaping the tornado? Dan Robinson, was it? I remember just making up names there. Got a cool looking silver looking right up the funnel. It's a cool shot. Right, there's a ropes out. Yeah, because in his escape footage, when he's trying to escape along the dirt road, it is just like he's wide angle dash cam from the back. Like it's just like a wall of condensation funnel behind. I don't think it gets the full tornado in. Anybody who used a dash cam before, you know, like they are quite wide angle as well. They capture a lot. You create a tri-state. You like the Twister F5? Yeah, that's my favourite tornado. The Twister F5. When I was making the tornadoes in the first version of this game, and then subsequently in this one, I used the Twister F5 as like my reference for how I wanted them to look visually. For some reason, whenever I seem to have a dream of it, like a large tornado, it always seems to be some variation of the Twister F5. So I think it's... Oh yeah, I think it's essentially stationary now. It's moving at half a mile an hour, but it's effectively stationary. Yeah, so thank you, Mario. It's cool to see what 2.4 miles wide looks like in game. And we've got our first iteration of the El Reno 2013 event. Need to, like I say with any scenario, you need to keep iterating it and adding more details as we get the information for them. But yeah, this was cool. Thank you. I think what we'll do is now we'll go into career mode. And let's do a regular chase, and if we're lucky, we will see a mega wedge, but like I say, there's only a 5% chance of seeing that. Top 87% of chases, that's no good. We need a good chase. We managed to create tri-state, so that's going to be... So what I'll do is because I don't have too much more time to stream, we'll try the tri-state one in a future stream. Just because tonight I want to do a little bit of career mode, just to make some progress in the game and to show some of the other game modes. But yeah, we'll definitely revisit some of the future scenarios on the next stream. Just I'm trying to preview and test everything before I push the update tonight. Top 74%, that's still not very good. Top 59, we've got a lot of skips and I'm willing to use them. Top 4%, there we go. Cape, 5,000 to 5,800 SRH. Yeah, this will be a good chase. I'm going to turn hunts off and we're just going to do a regular old chase. Chow, Texas is a slow-moving sandblast and destruction. We reviewed them. Yeah, that one was... Wasn't that a land spout originally? And then it, like, somehow just latched onto the storm's updraft. Because it moved in a really weird direction as well, which is probably part of the reason it moved so slowly. Like, it like got captured by the parent updraft or something like that, if I'm recalling the details correctly. But yeah, the damage from that one was horrendous. Like I say, in some cases all that recovered from one person was a knucklebone. I think it's incredibly sad for the family to that to all be left of a loved one. Like, it also illustrates just how insanely powerful that tornado was and just how bad the overall situation was. Like, literally, if it had have slowed down and roped out like half a mile earlier, or they had the path differed by just a little bit, like, more people would have survived. I think that's part of the reason why some of these events are tragedies. I think you have unfortunate things which happen, which I guess are like disasters. I think what makes them tragedies is when, if just one thing had gone slightly different, the outcome would have been a lot better for everyone. Just one thing had to be different about that whole situation, and everyone would have been, at least we have some reasonable chance of sheltering and surviving. In 2013, we just did that. If you rewind the stream about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and you'll see Mario, or Kebaba Kid in the chat, did a first scenario of Arena 2013. And so just in there, we've got to see what a 2.6 mile wide tornado looks like in the game, and it looked good. It looked intimidating. I feel like this is moving northwest. The 3.5 mile wide Mega-Wedge. Rewind further, at the very beginning of the stream I showed just a test scenario which showed the entire lifespan of a Mega-Wedge, so it just goes from regular size up to 6.4 kilometers, which is like 3.7 miles, and then ropes out. Yeah, so you can see a 3.5 mile wide Mega-Wedge earlier in this stream if you rewind it. Yeah, is this moving northwest? Right, it's starting to touch down. I feel like it's moving away. Let's turn velocity off and look at the... Yeah, it's... Okay, we've got to warn that town. South, and then we'll take this route. Okay, it's moving quite slow. I think we've got a reasonable chance of warning the town. It's looking much nicer with the slower rotation rate. I say slower, there's quite a bit of motion there in the bottom of the funnel. Yeah, because we've got like F2, maybe going up to F3 strength winds, compressed into a small funnel. And that's looking so much better with the slower rotation rate. I guess slower rotation rate as well as taking the wind speed and swirl ratio into account correctly. you take this next right. I was thinking of adding random events to the vehicle, like engine overheating, and you just have to wait like 20 to 30 seconds for the engine to cool down. Maybe like tyres getting punctured and things like that. I know Storm Chaser's had that same feature, but it doesn't mean I can't add having again like a flat tyre to the game. That is a thing which happens when you're driving around. Oh, well, it's only moving 17 miles an hour. We're moving 100. Look at that motion. That looks so much more realistic. Oh, wait, there. That was the right one I wanted to take. That was the right one I wanted to take, man. Come on, it's only moving 11, 12 miles an hour. We can go 100. It's only the F-Zero winds which are impacting it right now. We just need to keep our foot to the floor. And then if we take this right, we can take the paved road and get in there quicker. Because this is the most direct route, but it's slower because we can only go like 40, 50 miles an hour here, whereas we can go 100 here. Oh, it's turning away. It's turning as well. Look at that thing. It looks like it's moving away, which is good. It means we'll have to try and navigate up here, but I think we've got a better chance of... It looks like quite a while before it hits these towns. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take not this motorway, but the next motorway. Because then we can go like 120. Oh, power flashes there. Hopefully it doesn't cut off our route to the town. Some bales of hay and things getting thrown around there. Luckily nothing too... Wow, that was an expensive crash. $19,000 that crash cost. How have I got so much money? Oh yeah, we earned a load on the last game, but... What's my ranking? It's only bachelors. Right, let's warn this town. Oh, it's weakening a bit as well. Good, it weakened just in time. Let's warn the town. We need to figure out who to warn next. Because while these aren't flashing yet, there will be. So let's plan an intercept as well. Let's continue to collect data. But the biggest thing we can do right now is get our rescue score up, so we can unlock some of those top end upgrades. We've got the money for them, it's just getting the rating high enough. Oh, the funnels look so much better now. Oh no, still want to keep going. I haven't had time to configure the probe, but if we... Excuse me, throat's been a bit tickly and itchy today. It doesn't matter because it'll just act like the old time probe. It's in like, it'll just stay where it is. So I will try and catch up with the chat. It's difficult to time things correctly, do a deployment, and keep up with chat. So let me plan nuclear plants to the game. Oh, I think I mentioned this on a previous stream, actually. I do like that idea. I didn't plan on it, but I do like... But I may add that as something further in the future. If anybody ever played Tornado Jockey back in the day, when that was like pretty much the only tornado-related game you could get, you could suck out the core of a nuclear reactor and then like blow up an entire town. So I might not necessarily add the nuclear explosion. Actually, I don't want to dwell on death and destruction. It's something which unfortunately happens as part of the tornadoes, and visually I want to have destruction which happens, but I don't. Is nuking an entire city and having a giant death toll something we want to see in the game? But I think I could add nuclear power plants. maybe could cause something like power cuts or sirens to not work or something like that. But yeah, just it's kind of like a reference to both Atomic Twister, which is like a low budget TV. Well, yeah, I think it was a made for TV movie, and also Tornado Jockey, because that was one of the first Tornado games I played, which I really enjoyed. Because it was like the only Tornado game I could play. So I'll want some of these sounds. Oh, it's going F5 strength. Right, I think... Right, we've got this town over here. So we'll want to go for another intercept. Right, let's see. We'll head west. Trying to think how we get ahead of this thing. Because we're going straight for that town there. Ideally we want to be over here, so I think we'll turn right, go to this town, sound the siren just in case it turns. And we'll come down this way and try and go for an intercept along here. Like, it's only moving 15 miles an hour, so we can beat it before it gets there. Oh, look! I don't know if you just saw, there's a horizontal vortex just on the right-hand side of the tornado. It's just gone behind the funnel. Oh, one thing it'll improve as well, probably improve the look of the horizontal vortices because they won't get shredded apart by the winds. Look, it's got multi-vortex. Like right there close to the ground. Right, so we've got a little bit of navigating to do. Tommy Twister's okay, yeah, it's a bit of a cheesy film. I liked it when I was younger, just because it had tornadoes in, and nuclear power plants, two things I was both interested in. I think in terms of really good tornado movies, you've pretty much only got Twisters. Into the Storm is okay. Night of the Twisters, low budget, a little bit cheesy, but still, it's like just a feel-good, kind of more family-friendly tornado movie. Actually, a good movie. It has tornadoes in it, but it's not a movie about tornadoes. It's more of a movie about kind of like mental health. I forgot what it's called. What was it called again? It's the guy who acts in it. His acting is insanely good. Take Shelter. Pretty sure it's called Take Shelter. Oh, am I getting that mixed up with a different one? It's essentially about this guy who he's in like the early stages of schizophrenia, and he becomes obsessed with building a storm shelter for his family. And he's convinced like that the end of the world's coming, and he causes like scenes with like people in his local community, and like scares his children, and spends like his and his wife's money. He causes a lot of issues there. I think we'll just keep the coefficients at 0. We'll do old-fashioned. To Take Shelter. Yeah, Take Shelter. Who's the main character in Take Shelter? Michael Shannon. This is one particular scene where he has this an absolute breakdown, and like you almost forget or do forget that he's acting at that point. Like these skills just insane. They actually used some of Mike Hollingshead's I believe it was photos, and then they like digitized them into being like animated video. Rainbow's hot take is that they're all kind of bad and terribly written and cheesy. Yeah, I guess it's the what amount is it? What amount can you handle? What amount is acceptable? I still love Twister. It's my all-time favorite movie. A lot of childhood memories associated with that, and I say it's just an easy comfort watch. Like that's the thing with these movies. So they're not about realism. It's more about the storyline and the characters. So Twister and Twisters definitely has that. Into the Storm, nah. Okay CGI. But other than that, I think I've only ever watched Into the Storm twice. In terms of realism, the one with is it Skeet Ulrich? No, it's not Skeet Ulrich. No, who's the guy? I think he's from. There's a TV series called Jericho. Oh no, it was Skeet Ulrich. What was it that he was in? Was it Skeet Ulrich? I'm getting mixed up with another actor. Oh yeah, no, he's in Supercell. I think in terms of realism, in terms of what they discuss, like they use that, like the College of DuPage website. What? Like a lot of the discussions, like seems more in depth than what you'd see on like a Hollywood, like feature film. But I still think some of the physics and sort of chase scenes weren't the most accurate. At a rope, what exactly do you mean by rope? Do you mean one that's just thin and... By rope, you mean like kind of like elephant trunk where you kind of get the S-bed? Or you're talking about just something that's thin and roughly the same size all the way up the funnel? Because that can happen just through pure chance in the game. Yeah, I think what we'll do a quick recall. Let's go for another intercept now. Storm Chasers Revenge of the Twisters. Yeah, I don't know if I should just go through like a low budget tornado. Just have like a day just watching low budget tornado films. I still haven't watched Tornado. Is it Rojo Furnace, I pronounce it, did a video a while back comparing Tornado to Twister. And Paddy is actually like the most superior instrument compared to Dorothy. And they actually used my, what do you call it, Dorothy software in his video, which was cool to see. Got a bit of a motorway here. We can maybe risk it. Though we've got some subboats just spinning around in there. Like 75, I think this truck's good up to about 120, 130 mile an hour winds. So that's just very carefully, because we are in the path of the tornado as well. Hopefully it doesn't collapse on us. But as long as it doesn't collapse, we can get into a good intercept position. Anytime I try and deploy on an overpass, it seems to always go wrong. Right, we're going to change that to pressure, close the tailgate and get out of here because it's up at F5 strength right now. Then I think turn left. Oh yeah, the vegetation's back, everything's looking a lot better now. Oh wait, no, I meant right. Kind of dangerously crossing in front of the tornado. See, that's looking from the probe's point of view, we might actually see the overpass collapse. I'm going to see the overpass get ripped apart. The first thing you'll see is probably the probe fall through it. Well, we're getting some pretty intense winds here as well. 350, we're going to probably start seeing the overpass getting shredded. Or maybe not. I would have thought in those winds it would have got shredded in the game. In real life, I don't think it would. But I think I set the limit to somewhere between 180 and 220 before the overpass starts. Oh yeah, it's fallen through the overpass, which means it's starting to break apart. Let's turn the probe camera off, it'll get a bit laggy. Yeah, I see a section of overpass was just thrown over there. Let's go for another intercept. So I think about here. Do a quick recall, and we're going to change the data type one more time. Point, and then we need to escape, and then also check the map, make sure nothing else is in the path. I think we're all right. Wow, look at that. I like how it's lit at the top of the funnel. I really like when you see like the contrast in the light in the funnel. I think that's what makes the tornadoes look the most impressive. Oh, we just went past the solar panels. Have people seen the drone footage of the tornadoes from the other day just tearing through the solar farm? It's crazy footage, just this narrow, barely visible funnel, and it's throwing solar panels around. See what's the pro picking up. How we're doing on data. We've got a lot of multipliers. This is going to earn us a fair chunk of cash. So in the, I guess in the game history, this is the 7th of April 1990 F5 multi-vortex. So Turner's it's got a good cast. I need to give it a watch. One of the most ridiculous ones I watched, tornado films I watched was Sharknado, but isn't that by like The Asylum? I think they purposefully make the films like bad. Whereas what I really like are movies where people have obviously put in the best effort and it still comes out terrible. I'm talking like Birdemic, Shock and Terror. Oh, look at that. Look at that sub-vortex that's just poking out the edge of the funnel. Anything by Neil Breen. Like literally all these movies are the same thing. It's essentially some sort of environmentalist message about taking care of the planet, and then a lot of rich people kill themselves at the end. I said that like you could describe that as the Neil Breen movie, and that you couldn't say which one, because that's literally every one of his movies is about like saving the earth, and then somehow he gets superpowers, and then bad things happen to a bunch of rich people at the end. That describes pretty much them all. But like he doesn't really have the budget for anything, so there's one where he's like, I think he's meant to be a robot or something, but he's got like a circuit board from like what, a printer or an old computer, where it's just like taped to his chest. Like it's one of those things, like he tries really hard, and it's like the harder he tries, just like the more enjoyable it is to watch, just because of how bad it still is. And which data we're lacking the most? Obviously temperature. Let's switch this to temperature. Right, and then we need to think about escaping. We'd have to go off map. There's also Troll 2. That was another movie that's so bad it's good. I haven't seen all of Mac and Me. I've seen clips from Mac and Me, but that's also a pretty terrible movie. Oh, 130 miles an hour. Oh, we need to watch out for that spinning blade. That could be very expensive because we lose money and samples per impact. So that would be smacking us at like 10 impacts per second. I feel like I'm not getting out of the path of this thing. We do a quick recall, quick deploy, because I feel like I'm in the path again. And then at least we've got a road here. We'll take around to the right. Try our best to stay out of the way. Sharknado's getting a prequel, because that's what we need, more Sharknado films. Is there? Sorry, I'm a little bit out of the loop. I'm seeing a lot of posts. Is there a new Storm Chasers series or Into the Eye of the Storm or something on Discovery? I've seen some posts, but I don't know if it's like an older series that's just airing again, or if it's a new series, or if it's worth watching. Oh, there's our collapsed overpass. I think we'll just watch the tornado at this point because it's going to go off the map. And then we'll cash it in and we'll see what we can get in terms of upgrades. I think in terms of our rescue score, I think it's unchanged because no towns got hit. It's got a nice wedge, or kind of cone kind of wedge. Sorry, I'm halfway between sneezing and not sneezing, and that's the second time this has happened today. I hope I'm not catching a cold or something because my throat's been a bit itchy and I've been a bit sneezy today. Power flash. Oh, I should probably end that poll since we already played the El Reno 2013. Yeah, thanks again to Mario for doing that. First scenario to make use of the Mega-Wedge feature in the game. First time seeing what El Reno could look like in the game. I want to go back under that, under the overpass, under the underpass, over the underpass. Just, I think there's some sub-vortices there and we're missing out on seeing them. Just about barely visible. I was away from the probe's point of view because the funnel's just past it. The probe's much closer. It's like a backwards path, isn't it? Tracking east to west. Not normally what you see. So I think I'll stream until this ropes out, and we'll cash in the data, buy a few upgrades, and then I'll wrap up the stream. And then I'll need to push the update after this as well. I just need to take a screenshot for this stream. Or power flashes. Is the probe still getting data or not? No, it's miles away now. Let's collect our probe. Turn the camera preview off. Probably drive a bit closer now. Look at all those raindrops. I still don't think they're getting rendered correctly just now. I do need to fix them a bit, especially on the side and back windows. I need to fix that. Because I don't think we spend too much time really looking through the back window, do it? So it's not too much of an issue. I spend most of my time in the third person view, just because it gives you a better view of the tornado and the storm. Like that's almost like a rope, isn't it? You see, you've got a bit of a bend in the funnel as well. Just the funnels are more flexible since this update. There's a few updates ago. Yes, it's going to start lifting soon. But like train movies? It depends on the movie. I watched that one about the runaway train, based on the real life event. That one was really cool to see. it was unstoppable. We've still got some swirling dust there at the ground level, so still. What's the classification for a tornado again? It's got to be is it 3/4 of the way to the ground and visible interaction at the surface? Or is it classed as a tornado as long as the winds are interacting with the ground? It doesn't matter if it's 3/4 of the way down. Look at those cycloidal marks. It pretty much very quickly went to F5 strength and then just stayed there the entire time. Yeah, I think what I'll do is the funnel's almost roped out. I'll put it in the corner of the screen there. And let's cash in the data, see what we earned. Another 250,000. So that brings us up to 561,000. So let's just buy every upgrade we can. Ooh, aerodynamic truck coat, and that decreases the impact of the wind by 50 miles an hour. So that means if we could handle 130 miles an hour before, it can handle 180 miles an hour now. Oh, okay, it goes up in increments. So sorry, no, that's gained us like an extra 25. So it'll be good up to about 155. We don't want to wait the truck. Off-road speed is a very useful one to have. Dirt road speed. Ooh, these are expensive. Probes, we can't upgrade any of those. Let's get the radar upgrade as much as we can. I don't really want to add weight to the truck yet. That's kind of like a final upgrade once everything else is done. So let's take a look. Yeah, we've got more detail in the radar image now. We don't have to wait as long per update. Same with velocity. We can't really see it much because it's off the map. Okay, I think I'm going to wrap the stream up there. Thank you so much everybody who's joined, especially Mario, for adding our first El Reno scenario. I'll be streaming again maybe in a few days' time, maybe tomorrow. It really depends how much work I get done on the game and if I've got something new to show. I'm going to get this update ready to publish now, so keep checking the next 20-30 minutes. You should have this version of the game. I just need to double check. I may need to update the version number to 0.13.0. I'll have a check. But thank you everyone. I'll see you all in the next stream.